Hey everybody, it's the Redstone Wizard here again, bringing you another Redstone tutorial. This time, we're doing a bolt. And not just any bolt, a pistonless bolt. We got my buddy Scuba Steve here, and we're going to do a little race. Alright, here we go. I win. This track is actually nearly 400 blocks long, and it takes me 30 seconds to reach 400 blocks, which averages out to, well, a little over 12 blocks per second. Yeah, you notice that little stutter, but that little stutter is allowing us to maintain the speed. Now, the one thing you guys are going to notice is that I don't like placing rails, especially when they're curved. Oop, so, yeah, here he comes. We already been down here for a while. Yep, faster than a powered, way faster than just a line of powered rails, which means even the standard piston bolt is going to be hard to beat with this setup. Yeah, so I hate curving rails, and I love so I've created a machine to do it for me. So we're going to discuss the rail curves, how this thing works, and then we're going to build the machine to curve the rails. I've already got one set up for us to go all the way down. So you guys, give me a moment. I'll be right back, and we will get to building this thing. Okay, everybody. I'm back. And, okay, real fast. I intentionally messed these up. Built the machine way back over there and stuck Scuba on it, riding it, so that it will just fly all the way over here till it's done. And we'll just stop it right here. Just going to use these grindstones because they are immovable objects. And it's going to fly right into it and stop moving. So you could determine where you want it to stop by just putting it there. And if you want if you want straight rails, you just put straight rails with grindstones, any immovable objects. Now, what we need to do is, if we are going this way, we need to put powered rails all the way down. Okay? Now we need to power these rails all the way down. And like on this side, we're going to do everything is done the same way. There's going to be another machine to just pick these up because we're not going to need them once we lock them in. Because as soon as I break this, it stays. So we have to temporarily use these, and pretty much all it is going to be a fast flying machine that just grabs. Minecart behind, grabbing all of them. But yeah, it's pretty much what we're going to do is just set it up so that we can, or you can come by here manually and take them out. But what happens is we're curving the rails to create a curved rail reduces the amount of time you're on that rail, which reduces the amount of speed loss you get from rails. And the powered rails just maintain the speed up. And that's it. I recommend putting them every 20 to 30 blocks in between each other so that you actually have a good amount of speed. So, pretty much you just need a bunch of rails. Every 20-30 blocks you need a power rail. Make sure it's powered. And some immovable objects. You prep it. You line your regular rails all the way down. And then you put in your normal, and then you put in the power rails here, or detector rails, activator rails. It doesn't matter. Okay? It really doesn't matter here. because as long as it's not a normal rail. We don't want the normal rails connecting to each other and causing wonky issues. But them being like this is okay. The rails being like this is okay. Rails being like this is okay. You just don't want the rails to look like that. We want them either straight or like this. I have this one curved already. I can just break the curve by breaking this and putting this back. As long as you have them like this or like this, you'll be okay. It's because of how the flying machine moves the rails. So let me clear out my inventory real fast. Let's go here because it's so much easier to clear it. Okay, now you're going to need roughly 26, if I remember, it's actually less slime blocks. You need 3 honey blocks, 1 redstone block, 15 observers, 8 regular pistons, and 9 sticky pistons. Okay? So, we set this up first. Powered rail, curved rail, regular rail. And then however you have your, how often you want your powered rails to be. And then we have power rails. So this is the one that you're going to set up manually. Okay? I don't have to have that there, but I have to have this one there after I have the curve. Now you build these identically. So we're going to take, and on the first curved rail, we're going to place our piston and then our sticky piston in the way the rails are going, the direction of travel. And then we're going to stick an observer going towards the direction of travel and a redstone block behind that. And next to the observer, we're going to place a redstone block. This is going to move forward to push it, which will allow the system to work. So, we're going to go off of this observer. 1, 2, 3. We're going to place an observer going up in this gap. A regular piston on top of that going towards the front. Now, leave a gap between the regular piston and then 2 slime blocks going towards the center. And then we're going to take a sticky piston and place it on those slime blocks. Now, simple rule with flying machines. If it's a sticky piston, it goes against the block. If it's a regular piston, you leave a gap. There's certain circumstances where that's not necessary, but for the most part, it's a general rule that's good to follow. Now, we're going to place a temporary block here, and we're going to place an observer going right into that piston. Now, what happened was the piston, this got pushed out, pulling this observer and closing it in. When this piston pushes these slime blocks, this piston will be moved, grab these blocks, pulling. And this redstone block will be out of the way. Because now we're going to come here and create this formation going towards the back. We're going to take another observer and we're going to place it here. So when this machine moves forward 1, this is going to push the block. Push the redstone block out before these get pulled. Hence the order. Now, we need a few combinations of slime block and sticky piston. you can just make a huge line and then just break out every other one. I'm going to do a total of 7 of them. And again, all these will have the slime touching the piston. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, line went a little wonky. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got one too many. So now, what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to make a line. We're going to place observers on the inside of this. And we need to place one observer there to power this one. Now, on every sticky piston, every slime block behind the sticky piston, we're placing an observer. We want all these to close in. Now, I'm going to break it from back here so that they will pulse and close like that. Now we need to create the end loop. And now we need to create the full engine. So we're going to go down 2 off of that slime block, and we're going to place a piston. We are going to place an observer going into the slime block with that piston. Now, with regular pistons, we want a gap, except for when we're doing an engine like this. Now, the reason why we want a gap is so that the pistons will be able to push the next block or pull the next block. If the piston is pointing towards the back of the machine, it better be a sticky piston. If it's pointing towards the front, it better be a regular piston. These were things that people found out early on in Slimestone. And I'm just going to leave that one there, because now we have a gap of 1. So, like the other one, we're going to go to the inside, and for safety purposes, we're blocking this off. We're preventing it from moving. And we're just going to make a line, because we don't want this thing to take off just yet. And next to every slime block, we are going to stick an observer going towards that slime block, because we want them to get powered. And I did break that so that I'm able to place it. Now, once I remove all this slime and remove my immovable object, and let me get a flint and steel out, just because, and you can start this at any way. The one that has the 1 block gap, the one that doesn't have the gap, is the one you have to activate. So I'm just going to push it there. Now if you notice, now I can come up here, sit down, just sit here and get the rails curved. And while I'm doing that, I got Scuba coming up right now, just writing his, and we are going to pass each other, and the rails will stay curved. And then after you're done, you come back with a pick or with a smaller flying machine, and using pistons, sticky pistons, just grab and pull up, which then will create them to just pop off anyways. Of course, you can always be a little creative too, and honestly, sometimes that's just fun. But yeah, so I'm going to time lapse this, and we will get to my side done, and then we'll take and ride a Scuba side, and then we're going to come back and take a ride on my side. So here we go. On to the time lapse. Okay, guys, I'm back, and yeah, I cut the time lapse short. It was getting really, really long, and all I was doing was just standing here, and that's no fun for anybody. So, what we're gonna do is just finish up, and I'm going to place a powered rail right there. We're going to take you, place you there, and we're going to leave this sitting here. Now, alright, so now we're going to take this. Let's get a button because this thing is so fun to ride. I love my piston bolts, but this thing is fun anyways. And you know what? If you're in a minecart, stuck on a track, that ain't going anywhere because you forgot to power it. Okay, so let's power that, and there we go. Now, if something like this happens to you, you're going to have to start over. It's entirely possible. Sometimes it does happen, but I was literally trying to make it where this is not going to happen to anybody. It might have just happened by sheer coincidence with the with how it's set up, and I do believe that was sheer coincidence because this is the only one so far out of all those. And let's just continue going. Oh, we got another one right here. Why is this happening? Yeah, because it must have happened when I when straightened all the rails. But as you can see, we're not having any issues right now. So, here we go. A quick, enjoyable ride. Going actually pretty fast. Finish up. Alright, now let's break you, take you, and we're just going to set up a quick, no, just a simple little rail system to launch ourselves back. If some, occasionally, like I said, had a little bit of issues while we were breaking it, while we were taking things apart, taking it apart, breaking the rails, accidentally hit one, and I didn't feel like redoing the entire video for you guys. Wanted you guys to enjoy riding on this bolt, this pistonless piston bolt. It's the only thing I could think of calling it, but it's probably the fastest pistonless thing you can ride on using minecarts. And as you can see, we just finished it off nice and clean. And now we're just going to knock out all these rails, and actually, because with some testing, I was pretty sure I didn't think it was possible for this to happen, but I'm not going to. Don't use a flying machine to pull your rails up. Just come down here, break the rails, or break the blocks below the rails. If you slime here, you can actually just run down here, just like I'm doing, breaking all of them, click your rails back, get your slime back, then do your floor however you want. But the reason why we weren't using we decided against a flying machine. Okay? Now, this was a sheer accident, and I know it's a bug, but I figure you guys would love to see this. Alright, so now we've got 3 rails, right? Let's pull the rail up and break it. If I just put a block there, it stays. I'll remove that block because I should have did this. Let's just add a couple more. Let's power them. Make sure. Redo it. Pop it. And let's just go for a ride. Don't ask me why. I feel like it. Yep. There you go. You came for a rail video, and you got 2. Super odd, but funny nonetheless. And a pretty cool one too. Easy to make. But you guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. If you have questions or comments, put them down in the comments. If it's something really big that you really just need, like one-on-one, join my Discord. If you want to support me, you can subscribe to the channel or join my Patreon. Links in the description. But you guys, this is the Redstone Wizard. Enjoy building.